Welcome to Veil of Stories. Dive into a world where mystery, suspense, and hidden truths come to life. From spine-chilling encounters to moral tales that challenge your thinking. We bring you captivating stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Subscribe and let the veil be lifted, revealing the stories that have been hidden in the shadows. Let's begin today's story.
My name is Sushant. I was 18 at the time, and I used to hit the gym about 3 to 4 times a week. That day, a Sunday, I had just missed my bus and had to wait a bit longer for the next one. It was freezing, and snow had just begun to coat the ground. My parents were out for the evening, and taxis were way too expensive. So I sat down at the bus shelter, put on my earphones, and waited. It was one of those nights where time seemed to drag. Almost an hour had passed and not a single soul in sight. That's when I noticed something strange out of the corner of my eye. A man in heavy layers of clothing was slowly walking toward me. There was something about him that made me feel uneasy, but I kept my focus on my phone, trying not to look directly at him. He sat at the other end of the shelter, and I could feel his eyes on me. He looked off, like he was either drunk or high. Then he asked,
"When's the bus coming?"
I pulled out my earphones and answered, "Probably delayed because of the snow." He didn't say anything for a bit, but kept mumbling under his breath. The longer he sat there, the more I felt something wasn't right. So I tried to focus on my phone, hoping he'd leave me alone. But when I looked again, he had shifted closer. I kept glancing down at my phone, pretending not to notice, but every time I looked back, he was even closer. My pulse quickened. I finally spoke up. "You okay?" He just stared at me, his eyes glossy and unfocused. Then, without warning, he lifted his arm and leaned toward me. My heart raced. I grabbed my bag and bolted down the road, not stopping until I reached the next bus stop. I turned back, trying to catch my breath, and saw nothing. The man was gone. Feeling slightly more at ease, I sat down and leaned my head against the glass. Then I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. I turned around in terror. It was him. The same man was standing outside the bus shelter, staring at me through the glass. "What the hell is wrong with you?" I yelled, panic flooding my voice. He didn't answer but started walking around the shelter toward me. I was frozen. I wanted to run, but my bag was still inside, and I couldn't leave without it. Suddenly, he lunged at me. I jumped out of the way just in time, and he crashed to the ground, face first. For a moment, I was paralyzed, unsure of what to do. Then I noticed the blood trickling from his face. I called 911, and soon enough, the police and paramedics arrived. They told me he was on prescription meds. When they searched his wallet, they found a photo of him with a boy who looked just like me. I found out later that he had lost his son in a custody battle and had spiraled since. In his delirious state, he probably thought I was his son. After that night, I got my driver's license, and I've never set foot on a bus since.
Subscribe for more untold tales and lift the veil on the unknown. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and always question what lies beneath.